Please welcome our honorable chief guest, Mr. Carmen Trutanich. Please give him a big round of applause.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here this morning on such an auspicious day, the day before 9/11, our 10th year anniversary of the events that changed, and that's a really interesting word to use, changed the world. We are here to talk about US-African business relationships. And yet we look 10 years, and 10 years ago, that truly defined what is happening today in the world. What was meant to be a catastrophic, disastrous, horrific nightmare to bring the United States and the world to its knees. About this time, tomorrow, 10 years ago, in essence, did just the opposite. It opened the eyes of the world and brought us closer together. It coalesced the world. It virtually made the world singular in focus. Technologies were created that are now being used to synergize corporations. Things that came from that misery, the death that was placed upon this country, the largest attack on our shores since Pearl Harbor, have truly brought to this forum the opportunities of advancement. Not what they intended when they attacked us, but that is what has occurred. Now let's take a look at that. Since that day, we have improved our relationships, our working relationships in terms of public safety with every nation on this globe. We communicate constantly with our partners in law enforcement and public safety. Our relationships with Africa, the European continent, and Asia are tremendous today. Much more. Our imports and our exports have grown. Just the opposite of what they thought would occur. The United States is stronger and safer today than it has been any time in its past. There's a lot of argument as to whether or not we are or are not as safe as we used to be. Trust me, as law enforcement officials in the city of Los Angeles, the communication of law enforcement within Los Angeles, between state and local and federal, but across the nation and across this globe, is so much greater than it ever has been in the history of this world. And so, as I stand here, that this terrible, horrific event has created in terms of communication and the technologies that have been developed as a result of it, the synergy of opportunity is tremendous. We are seeing Africa now explode as a commercial opportunity. Asia, 10 years ago, was opening its gates. And now Asia's gates are completely wide open, and they are an economic powerhouse. And now we turn towards another continent to become that, to fill that other. And it's amazing. Look at changes as fear. I mean, I have a master's in business administration, and in our behavioral science class, people fear change, but change creates opportunities. And those who poise themselves for opportunity are the ones that not only capitalize in terms of moving forward, but also succeed in terms of economics. It's the ability to realize where we are moving to as a nation, as a community. Los Angeles right now brings in 40% of all the exports that come from all over the world through Los Angeles, the gateway of the Pacific. Now we look at that and we say, wow, that's a great number. But if we sat back and just held our breath and said, hey, we're not going to do anything, we're going to allow that 40% to continue, we will lose that 40%. And I'll tell you something, folks, we will lose it within the space of 10 years. Within the space of 10 years, the Panama Canal will be widened. Within the space of 10 years, a new port in Ensenada will be built. Within the space of 10 years, ports in San Francisco and Seattle will be able to compete with us. And so as a city, as a county, Los Angeles has to be smart, has to look forward and say, we are going to be facing competition. And it's our ability to look at these changes that are occurring, adapt to those changes, do not fear those changes, and make ourselves create the opportunities that are going to take place in Africa. We need to be smart in how we do this. 88% of what we export goes to the Asian African continents through Los Angeles. So we need to be aware of these things that are happening. You know, as an attorney for Los Angeles, you know, I see a lot of things. I represent the Port of LA, I represent the airport as a client. And I see the growth in both and the opportunities of both. I see what we do right, and I see what we do wrong. Sometimes it's frustrating in my job to look at that. But I can tell you this, that everyone that I have met along the way in this job, and I've been here about 3 years, 2.5 years, their heart is in the right spot. They want to see Los Angeles move forward. They want to see us continue to grow. They want to see us reach out. Just yesterday I had a meeting with Microsoft, trying to build new technologies into our judicial system and into our communication systems. The changes that are coming are amazing. We are oceans apart, but yet we are seconds apart in terms of virtual communication. The technologies that come forward in the next 10 years are going to make opportunities, and each of you in this room are poised to grasp that opportunity. I look forward to the next 10 years because I truly believe that as a people we will be safer in Los Angeles. The nations will get through this bout with terrorism. I don't believe it is a plague that's going to be here forever and ever. I believe it is something that a few radicals have imposed upon us. Just like if you want to equate it to the gang movement in Los Angeles, 5% of the people hold 95% of the people hostage, and that's ridiculous. Eventually, we will outsmart them. We will out-safety them. We will out-communicate them, and we will put them in their place. There's no doubt in my mind. And so, as you take part in this forum this weekend or today, and I'm sorry I can't be with you all day. I've got a parade and something else to go to, and so I got 7 different events today. I can tell you this, that the future is bright. We are a smart group of people in this country. We are dealing with smart competitors across the world. And when you put smart people in a room with a lot of good technology, good things happen. And I know that today a lot of good things will happen here. I wish I could come back tonight, but I've got the Jack Webb Award and the Studio City dinner tonight, so I have 2 dinners. But as a MBA, this excites me to see folks in a room talking about global communication and global economics. And each of you should be very proud of your participation in this. So thank you very much for inviting me, and I look forward to being invited back next year.
Carmen, you rightly said 5% of the people in the world hold 95% hostage. And we are all amongst the 95% of the people. But to discourage those 5% of the people, we do events like this to tell victory of democracy over terrorism. So ladies and gentlemen, if I can have the honor to have a 1-minute silence for all the victims of 9/11, since we are all going to be on the 10th anniversary tomorrow morning. Tonight, I'm sorry. So if we can all stand up, have a 1-minute silence for all the victims. Thank you all. Please be seated. 2 things.